am Samriddhi Kanpal, and I consider it a heartwarming pleasure to welcome you all and hereby extend a heartfelt gratitude to all of you for being a part of this extremely on a busy Sunday evening. So, this platform has been extremely dedicated since 10 Sundays, for 210 Sundays, for 210 talks, and 210 speakers from almost a century plus different locations of our country, hosting a century and a half plus guests of honor from different colleges and locations across the nation, and where the students have expressed 210 different ideas. And all of this has been made possible through this one sole aim of GSTS, which is that of enhancing the research work experience of the graduate candidates. So that's the reason we have been enthusiastically and continuously working since 7th of February 2021. The team behind this execution is worth to be mentioned, which includes Mr. Shubham Tiwari, Mr. Saurabh Singh, Mr. Ajay Gupta, Ms. Manvi Saraswat, Mr. Shailendra Rathod, Mr. Manthan, and I. And all of us have been working and exploring various domains of knowledge under the guidance and mentorship of Dr. Manish Karmawar, who is contributing his untiring efforts as the advisor of the platform. So we all know, we all have been a part of GSTS for much long, and we are here now. We have completed 210 talks, which is another milestone. And this was also visible in many of the milestones that we formally received, like we were featured in Changemaker Summit by G20. We were telecasted thrice by Doordarshan in their show Good News Just by India Ka. And the most important thing is how we have covered the entire realm of scholars, ranging from school kids to graduates to postgraduates to MPhil students to PhD students. And this entire kaleidoscopic range of topics has been possible because we've had so many people by our side. So that's it. That is about GSTS, and I hope the journey continues. And we are here again today for another very interesting talk. So, proceeding further, it is now time to invite our guest of honor for today's session. I consider it a privilege to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Abhinav, who is a rising historian and scholar. And Mr. Abhinav is making significant contributions to the field of African studies and Indian history. His research work on role of Africans in Awadh region in India during 1857 to 58 CE at the Department of African Studies, University of Delhi, is one of his marvelous contributions to the domain. Currently, he is also working on epistemic decolonization through Sage philosophy in Kenya, a project that reflects his commitment to decolonizing knowledge and promoting indigenous perspectives. Mr. Abhinav is also a prolific writer and has authored The Trails of Ambedkar, which is a poetic biography of Dr. Ambedkar. And his research interests span a wide range of topics, including decolonization of minds, regional histories, technology, and history. And he has published and co-authored numerous articles and book reviews in prestigious journals, including those published by Sage and Cambridge University Press. It is also important to know that Mr. Abhinav has also been one of our past speakers, and he also presented a talk on Ambedkar on GSTS 115, and it is about to be 100 talks since he was a speaker at the platform, and now he is here as the chief guest. So the journey is again very overwhelming in itself. So we all are very delighted to have you, Mr. Abhinav, with us today, and we would like to have some of your introductory remarks before we proceed with the further session. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Samriddhi. And thanks everyone, specifically Dr. Manish sir and all GSTS team. Thank you very much. And very good evening to everyone, to all senior professors and colleagues, and the speaker of the today, Mr. Shashank. So thank you very much, everyone, for inviting me. And I remember the day when, as Samriddhi has said, that I myself was a speaker in GSTS, and topic was the Dr. Ambedkar as a visionary of water resource management in India. And from being a speaker to invited as a guest of honor, so it is a source and story of motivation and inspiration as well. So inspiration for the young speakers, and motivation for the GSTS team, that it includes the continuation in CEs. So my best wishes to speaker of today and GSTS. Now over to you, Ms. Samriddhi. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. And we would be coming back to you once the speaker is done with his presentation to gain your insights and suggestions for the presentation. So, moving further, we all know that from the majestic temples of Hampi to the vibrant streets of Vijayanagar, this medieval empire of Vijayanagar was a melting pot of cultures, traditions, and artistic expressions that continue to inspire and wonder us today. The Vijayanagara Empire was a major center of cultural and artistic achievement with the development of distinctive style of architecture, sculpture, and painting. And despite its decline, we see that this empire has still has a it has left a lasting impact, a lasting legacy in the fields of architecture, art, literature, and culture, and is continued to be celebrated in the Indian history today. So we have our today's speaker with us today, Mr. Shashank from Manipal University, Jaipur, and he is here to talk more about the topic and to associate this realm of Vijayanagar with myths and how the place is a beautiful blend of the Hindu and Islamic cultures. So, Mr. Shashank, the stage is all yours, and good luck for your presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Samriddhi. You've been a remarkable moderator for today. Yeah. Sir, with your permission, I will share my screen and continue with it. I guess it's visible now.
Yes, it is. You may go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Before we begin, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Sakshya, History Society of Shyam Lal College, University of Delhi, for giving me this opportunity to present at a graduate scholars talk series. I also extend my thanks to faculty members, Professor Nachiketa Singh, Dr. Pramod, Dr. DN Singh, and Dr. Manish. And today's distinguished guest of honor, who has honored with his presence. Thank you for that, Mr. Abhinav. It is truly a privilege to engage with such a learned audience, which are quite rare these days. Uh, for those who don't know me, I am Shashank SA, a postgraduate scholar from Manipal University, Jaipur. I hold a bachelor's degree from Christ University, and my academic interest focuses majorly on literary studies. But my deep interest in history, especially the intersection of myth and historical memory, has drawn me to the fascinating subject of Vijayanagar's rise and fall. Since I was born in and around the region of Hampi, the capital of Vijayanagar, erstwhile Vijayanagar Empire, and like during my childhood days, my parents used to take me there to see the ruins of Vijayanagar for a picnic. So every time I used to go there, it used to fascinate me, like as if the ruins wants to tell the tales of glorious past and the present conditions. So this is what motivated me about to do research on Vijayanagar empires. So during my initial bachelor days, I did work on Vijayanagar empires, trade and economy for my dissertation. The Vijayanagara Empire was not merely a political entity, but a civilization deeply intertwined with myths that shaped its foundation, governance, and eventual decline. These myths are not just religious narratives, but also a strategic tools used by rulers to legitimize their authority and foster unity among their people. By exploring these myths in detail, we can understand how mythology plays a crucial role in enforcing the empire's cultural identity and historical memory. Without further ado, let's dive into myths that continue to shape our understanding of this very great empire. And today's objective of this presentation is majorly understanding myth as a historical narrative, examining how myths shaped the foundations, rise and fall of Vijayanagara Empire, analyzing the role of myths in legitimizing power and authority, exploring foundational myths, discussing the role of Jagadguru Vidyaranya in interpreting divine signs, and explaining hare and wild dog prophecy and its symbolic significance, highlighting the spiritual importance of Hampi as a divine chosen site, and to explore how myths such as the reign of gold reinforce the ruler's divine right to govern, and investigate how religious and mythological connection bolstered the empire's cultural identity. Omens and fall of Vijayanagar eventually. Examine the supernatural signs that supposedly foretold the empire's destruction. Discuss the role of myths in shaping the memory of Vijayanagar's decline. And at last, how myths continue to influence cultural perception of Vijayanagara today. Reflect on the impact of these legends on modern historical interpretation. So, the myth of hare and wild dog, the divine omen. One of the most famous legends associated with foundation of Vijayanagara Empire is hare and dog prophecy. According to tradition, the empire's founder, Haryada Raya and Bukkaraya, former commanders in Hoysala Empire, were in search of an ideal location to establish their kingdom. During their journey, they witnessed a seemingly weak and vulnerable hare being pursued by a wild dog. However, instead of fleeing, the hare turned around and attacked the dog, forcing it to retreat. This extraordinary event was reported to Jagadguru Sage Vidyaranya, a revered spiritual leader who served as Rajguru and a guiding force behind Vijayanagar's rise. Vidyaranya interpreted this unusual occurrence as a divine sign, suggesting that the land was imbued with extraordinary strength and resilience. He proclaimed that the site was blessed by the gods and destined to be the capital of the mighty Vijayanagara Empire. This prophecy played a crucial role in legitimizing Vijayanagar's foundation, as it suggested that the empire was not merely a human endeavor, but one ordained by the will of divine. Symbolism and cultural impact. The hare in the story symbolizes agility, cunning, and unexpected power, qualities that came to define the identity and resistance of Vijayanagar Empire against the external threats, particularly from Deccan Sultanates and Delhi Sultanate. The wild dog, on the other hand, represents constant danger posed by adversaries, highlighting the empire's need for vigilance and strategic prowess. This myth helped to create a sense of unity and divine purpose among the people of Vijayanagar, reinforcing their belief that the kingdom was protected by a supernatural force and a divine will of God. Even today, this legend is deeply ingrained in the cultural consciousness of South India, demonstrating the power of myth in shaping historical narratives. Even today, the many of the myth associated with Vijayanagar empires continue to surround the successive empires which emerged of a declining Vijayanagar empire like Kingdom of Mysore. Hampi, the choice of Hampi choice of Hampi as a Vijayanagar's capital was not merely a strategic, but also deeply rooted in Hindu mythology. The region was believed to be the mythological kingdom of Kishkinda, the domain of monkey god Hanuman, as described in Ramayana. According to the epic Ramayana, Lord Ram and his brother Lakshman traveled through Kishkinda in search of Sita. It was here that they formed an alliance with Monkey King Sugriv. This association with revered Hindu epic further reinforced the idea that Vijayanagar was built on the sacred ground. This is the exact place which has been believed that Lord Ram met Hanuman, and their meeting is which signify hope, hope to search and find Sita. So, establishing Vijayanagar Empire at this very site also gave an hope for South Indian Hindus against the invasion from Deccan Sultanate and Delhi Sultanate. And further going on, Vidyaranya's role in myth making and interpreting it. A crucial but overlooked aspect of Vijayanagar's rise is a role of monastic leadership, particularly Jagadguru Shankaracharya Vidyaranya, Sringeri Shankaracharya, in shaping the ideological and cultural foundation of empire. Vidyaranya, being the 12th Jagadguru of Sringeri Sharda Pita, was not merely a spiritual leader, but a political strategist, philosopher, and a kingmaker. Under his guidance, Harihara Raya and Bukkaraya, the empire's founder, were inspired to reclaim the lost glorious Hindu political power in Deccan, establishing Vijayanagar as civilizational stronghold against external threat. Drawing from Shankaracharya's Advaita Vedanta, Vidyaranya framed Vijayanagar as not just a mere empire, but Dharmarajya, a kingdom rooted in Hindu tradition, where governance was intertwined with religious legitimacy. The Sringeri monastery, as an institution of Sanskrit learning and Vedic scholarship, played a pivotal role in consolidating Vijayanagar's authority, providing spiritual legitimacy to the rulers, promoting temple building, and strengthening agrarian economies through land grants. The myths surrounding Hampi's sacred geography, hare and wild dog prophecy, and the reign of gold were all deeply connected to Vidyaranya's vision, reinforcing that the Vijayanagar was destined to be established. It was a divine ordain. Even after his time, Sringeri Peetam continued to play a crucial role in guiding rulers, demonstrating how monastic wisdom shaped the destiny of India's one of the greatest empires. In order for his contribution towards establishing and guiding the empire, Harihara Raya and Bukkaraya confirmed Vidyaranya with the title Hindu Samrajya Pratishthapanacharya, the establisher of Hindu empire. And even till today, the successive Shankaracharyas continue to use that title. Reign of gold and divine prosperity. Among the many myths that contributed to Vijayanagar's legendary status, one of the fascinating is the reign of gold. It is said that during early years of empire, as the rulers performed grand religious rituals and sacrificial offerings, the heavens showered gold coins over the land. The miracle event was perceived as a direct blessing from gods, signifying the approval of Vijayanagar rulers. The myth served as multi-purpose significantly, justification of Vijayanagar's wealth and power, By associating their prosperity with divine interpretation, Vijayanagar rulers claimed their success was not merely a result of human effort, but a cosmic favor. This reinforced their legitimacy and gave them a right to rule over the land. Encouragement of religious patronage. With the divine blessings comes the divine patronage. The belief that religious rituals could bring material prosperity led to the temple building activities, with empires, kings, and nobles donating vast amount of wealth to religious institutions. And present day Vitala Virupaksha temple in Hampi is witness to that. It showcases the past grandeur of Vijayanagar Empire. The idea of Vijayanagar as a land of divine riches was not just a myth. It is influenced and has been recorded in the travel logs or the works of Abdul Razak, Domingo Pace, who marveled at empire's wealth and grandeur. Abdul Razak mentions that the gold, silver, and precious gems were sold in the streets as if they are vegetables and fruits. That showcases the grandeur, prosperity of the greatest empire. Even after Vijayanagar's fall, the legend of rain gold persisted, immortalizing Vijayanagar as kingdom favored by gods. Even today, we often hear here and there and to media frenzy that some people getting or discovering a cut diamonds or gold coins or a lump of gold in this very particular region. Vijayanagara Empire reached its pinnacle under the rule of Emperor Krishnadevaraya, and he was considered the divinely ordained emperor who came to expand the boundaries of Vijayanagara Empire, reaching from Narmada to the north and from Narmada to the north and to Chola Samudram in the east and Chalukya Samudram in the west to Hindu Mahasagar in the south. So under him, the empire reached its glory and zenith under his leadership. The fall of Vijayanagar Empire and omens and divine retribution. The empire's destruction in 1565 at the Battle of Talikote was one of the most catastrophic events in South Indian history. However, the fall of Vijayanagar was not seen merely as a military defeat. Rather, it was framed as a divine punishment for foretold by supernatural omens. After the death of Emperor Krishnadevaraya, the throne was succeeded by his son-in-law, Aliya Ramaraya, who was cunning, politically strategist. He was a very pro in that. And he always followed divide and rule, playing with the sentiments of Shahi kingdoms or Deccan sultanates. Ominous signs before the fall. In the months leading up to the Battle of Talikote, Vijayanagar kingdom witnessed the series of eerie events were said to have occurred. The Tungabhadra River, which is a lifeline of capital city of Hampi, turned red, resembling a blood, an ominous sign of impending doom, which is going to come for Vijayanagar Empire. The statues of deity in temples developed a crack. Some were even reported to have wept, especially Saraswikal Ganapa. The Virupaksha temple's main deity, supposed to be turned its face away from kingdom, symbolizing the divine abandonment or divine patronage to the kingdom. The wild animals were seen fleeing the premises of Hampi as if they were sensing inevitable destruction of the empire. The curse of Vijayanagar, when the Battle of Talikota was progressing, Ali Ramaraya, the emperor, was captured by Shahi army and he was beheaded. After that, his head was paraded around as if a sign of a war trophy. During this time, instead of defending the kingdom at the war, the successor, Tirumala Raya, fled the capital with empire's gold. For this, the god who patronaged the kingdom, Virupaksha, cursed him that Vijayanagar will not regain its past glory. And ever since, it hasn't been reclaimed its past glories, or the successive rulers of Tirumala Raya never shown an effort in pursuing that. The enduring power of Vijayanagar's myths. Even centuries after its fall, Vijayanagar continues to live in or through its myths. The ruins of Hampi are not just a historical remnants, but a sacred site where past and divine still coexist. The stories of divine events or omens, miraculous prosperity, supernatural curses have ensured that Vijayanagar is remembered not merely as a lost empire, but as a legendary civilization with an eternal legacy. Today, these myths influence historical narratives, folklore, literature, even modern media, proving that power of myth is enduring as the stone of Hampi itself. The myth or a creation of myths is occurs to be very important event to give legitimacy to the rulers. One of the significant empire across the world history we can see is from England, where King Arthur, if he wouldn't have dragged Excalibur out of stone and shown it to Britons, they wouldn't have accepted him as a king, or they wouldn't have even considered him to be having a divine right or a divine blessing from the Lord to rule over Britons. So, like this, myths or associating myths with empires or empire with the myths brings legitimacy to the rulers to rule over thousands. The myths of Vijayanagar were not just stories. They were essential in shaping the empire's identity, governance, and historical memory. From Hay's defiance to the Golden Rain, and from sacred landscape of Hampi to eerie omens of destruction, these kingdoms transformed Vijayanagar into something greater than mere historical kingdom. It became a timeless saga etched in collective consciousness of India. Even in its ruins, Vijayanagar still stands tall, not just as a lost empire, but as a myth that never refuses to fade away. So, thank you for patiently listening to me while I speak. Dr. Manish, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shashank. That was a very well developed and well articulated presentation from your end. And the fact that you consider myths to be, myths to be a part of your studies, of your interest, I perfectly believe, and I hope that all of us would believe that you have perfectly portrayed your interest, and it has clearly been reflected in your presentation. We have talked about a lot of myths, and it was really a very interesting talk from your end. We would now proceed further as we have a few questions in the chat box. and we have a lot of questions today, which is good to see. So I'll like try to include as many questions as possible.
Okay, maybe she's disconnected right now, and because I raised my hand. So why I raised my hand? Because Samriddhi is also very fond about the myth, legends, and because if you go through her discussions, her portrayal as a moderator, so it's very interesting that Samriddhi's idea is very similar to your idea, and both are you're from English literature, and Samriddhi is still. Samriddhi is very new in teaching. So right now, after doing MA from Delhi University, she's teaching. Over to you, Samriddhi. Yes, over to you, Samriddhi, if you are here. Otherwise, any other moderator would pick the questions or me. Okay, so nice because I love to ask questions. Samriddhi, are you here?
Yes, sir, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
What's
yeah,
happening?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Shashank, the first question is asked by Mr. Shubham, and he is asking that can myths really be considered as a part of historical evidence? Why or why not? So, what's your perspective on this?
No, myths can't be considered as a historical evidence. They might signify uh, like giving in divine what you call divine approval for establishing an empire. It can't be considered as a historical reason or historical evidence because history does not support those kind of things. Myths, yeah, if we interpret, it might have some sort of truth in it, and majority of them is not. So we really can't. I will justify my statement with one particular example. Like we might have heard about the Great Flood or Matsya Avatar in Hindu Puran. So in Western civilization, there is a similar myth of Noah's Ark, where the entire world was submerged underwater. The Lord asked Noah to save the humanity for the next phase of life. Similar to did the same thing in Hindu mythology. So we know that the great flood really happened. That's the truth. But the characters or the animals associated with it are, it's quite not easy to accept it. So myths hold some sort of truth that we can rely on, but we can't consider them as truly an historical evidence.
Definitely.
We can give Simi Mehta ma'am because she raised her hand.
All right.
So 1 minute. Where is Simi Mehta ma'am? 1 minute. I think she left. No. Yeah, yeah, yes, Simi ma'am. Acho, oh, she's joined as a doctor. 1 minute, ma'am. I'll give you 1 minute, ma'am. 1 minute. Uh, yeah, 1 minute, ma'am. Yeah, please, ma'am. Yes, please, ma'am. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Simi ma'am, unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Actually, I'm at the airport. I was listening to this, and I really found that explanation of myth was absolutely correct because in history we don't accept myth like the way it is put around in many of the religious literature. We verified and accepted, and that part was absolutely correct. Yes, in
Ma'am,
history we
it's
don't do that,
difficult to,
and
ma'am,
he's done a
it's
good.
difficult to hear you. Yeah, it's
Okay,
difficult to hear
then
you.
I
No,
will
it's
probably, write my comments, sir.
definitely,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yeah, over to you, Samrit.
Yes, sir. So I'll take up another question as a blend of two questions which are a bit interrelated. So the question that is asked by Ajay is what like how do Hollywood and popular culture reinterpret myths for contemporary audiences? And the same a kind of similar question was taken up by Mr. Shailendra, who is asking that what impact does modern media have on myths? what impact does modern media have on the way myths are perceived as historical truths? So, how would you see that modern media and different reinterpretations of myths in different cultural forms? So, what's your take on it?
When we put media into it, they will interpret it from different perspective. I guess Dr. Manish can agree on this one. The thing is, like how it is interpreted in modern day. I will give you one short example. If you Google it out, there is one politician who comes from this region. He was MLA from Vijayanagar district. His name is Janardhan Reddy, most corrupt politician. He claimed that in his previous life, he was born as Krishna Devaraya, the emperor. And he was the reason the Vijayanagara expanded. So politician, in order to justify their statements and take credits to to convince why people must elect him, so they reinterpret to these for their political gains, and media frenzy exploit these for viewership and TRP. So this is how it is. But myths should be always be associated with culture of the land, and it holds some sort of truth to it. That the truth is, Sage Vidyaranya is a historical figure. He interpreted it, and he was the one who connected like a chain of pearls, or he's the one who put pearls in string to make it a beautiful pearl myth. So this is what I can say.
Definitely, definitely, Shashank. And you have also indirectly answered one of the other questions that was asked by Mr. Siddharth. He asked the similar question that don't you think that this divine legitimation is very common in history, not only in Vijayanagara Empire, but in also, different other aspects or different other stories that we know of. I'll take one another question by Dr.
Uh,
Akriti and yeah.
can I quantify Mr. Siddharth's statement? Like it is very true. Like every kingdom, either it is small or big or the great, often associate itself with myth. Like one particular example is establishing Byzantine Empire or establishing Constantinople as a city. It was built by Constantine the First, and during that time, the prophecy was made that when the ruler with the same name will be ruling again, the city will see its destruction. So this is a destruction prophecy. But there is another side to it, which was made by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He said that a man carrying my name will come and conquer the apple, the great apple. Constantinople was called Great Apple. And he said that when he conquers the city, the God Almighty will give his approval through blood moon, which really appeared when Mehmed IV conquered it. So this is how every great empires, the Ottoman Empire, or maybe it's Byzantine or Roman, they associate themselves with myth to claim that their rule, their empire is what is God's will. So thank you, Mr. Siddharth, to bring that question.
Yes, so I'll take up one last question, and I would again like to apologize to the other members who asked questions, but we cannot take all of them up because of the paucity of time. I'll take one last question by Dr. Akriti, and she is asking that how should one cross-check the authenticity or historicity of these myths, because they often represent a very distorted version which which can be used to construct a false narrative. So what's your take on that?
Yes, it becomes very crucial. Like Vijayanagar spanned across Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Orissa, Goa, Kerala, and Karnataka. In each of these lands, there is a different version of myths. The myths which I talked about is associated with Sringeri Shankaracharya, which has been recorded in their works. If you visit Sringeri Peetam, there is a library, there is an archives. Since the establishment of, when it happened from Adi Shankaracharya, they have preserved all the well-known texts, and you can go there and quantify it. And whatever myths, the creation myths, which I used today to present, are similar across the culture of these states. So based on that, based on repetition or how similar it is, we can come to a conclusion.
Definitely, Mr. Shashank, that was again a well articulated answer. And I believe that you have justified all the questions that were asked in the chat box. And because of the paucity of time to mention it again, we could not take up all the questions. But if it's possible for Mr. Shashank, he can just quickly answer them in the chat box after the session or whenever he finds
Yes,
time.
yes,
All
Miss
right.
Ram.
We will have one last question that we asked to all of our speakers. So we would like to know your experience with the platform. So how was the journey with GSTS? Could you please let all of us know about it?
Yes, I got to know GSTS through Dr. Neha. I hope she is here today. She has been mentoring me from past 4 to 5 years. She has seen me grow from a lousy boy to a academician in making. She has been mentoring me for this, and she is the one who introduced me to Dr. Manish, her colleague. And then I said I would be happy if I get an opportunity, I would present it. These things were we used to discuss with Dr. Neha in Manipal University, Jaipur. So I really miss those days, and I think I got the same opportunity or nostalgia feeling in this very session. And I'm very thankful and in depth to Dr. Manish and Dr. Neha.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shashank, and it was a pleasure having you as a speaker on our platform. And we also hope that you continue to be a part of this platform in the upcoming sessions as well. So, with that being said, I would now like to invite our guest of honor for the session, Mr. Abhinav, to highlight his suggestions, some other edits, or any other insights that he would like to add on the topic. So, Mr. Abhinav, the stage is yours now.
Thank you so much, Samriddhi, again. And first of all, many congratulations to Shashank for it was such a novel topic to connecting myths with historical interpretations. And I like Mr. Shashank articulation of the topic and the confidence he has. A very good presentation and very good selection of sources as well. So many congratulations to Shashank. Now coming to the topic, so we all have been grown while hearing the stories of Krishna Dev Rai and Tenali Raman. Everybody has heard about these stories, these proverbs, these wisdom, and the wisdom in these stories, basically. So there is a very fine line between the oral history and myths, we can say, and myths and oral history are basically very deeply interconnected as well. So uh, basically, we can see that myths, particularly the terminology of myths, we can see often serves as a primary source of oral history as well. What is different? What differentiate the myths and oral history is the evidences. Simply, very simple evidences. Okay, and what other part you can get that other sources as well, the contemporary sources or foreign sources as well. And in the case of Vijayanagara Empire, we can see that there are many foreign sources as well presented there. And so I would only take 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. Uh, so when you were discussing about Kishkinda, that Hampi was also called as Kishkinda in Ramayana, that is very true. And you can also see the sculptures of Hampi, where you can see the portrayal of monkey, the depiction of monkey, or not monkey, but they also called as Hanuman. So you can also find the depiction of Hanuman there in many sculptures of Vijayanagar, particularly in Hampi. So this also tells a different story how myths and the evidences are interconnected. And another evidence you presented about the sage Vidyaranya, uh, And at the same time, you can also find another sage, that is Kanak Das. You most probably have heard about the Kanak Das, and he has presented a well articulated historical interpretations, and not only interpretation but evidence. He has written many works like Nal Charitra and Hari Bhakti Sar. A very interesting book he has written, that Ramadhana Charitra, and
Yes.
uh, in which he has depicted about the conflict between two grains, the ragi and the rice. Basically, the rice was depicted to the elite class, and ragi was depicted as the lower class, and there was a conflict between ragi and rice. So the use of symbolism by the Jagat Guru Vidyaranya and the Kanak Das, which was not considered as a sage, but was considered as a saint. So we can see the saints are considered as holy persons in any civilization, and sages are considered the wise person in any civilization. So Kanak Das was denied entry in many temples during that time, and he was from the shepherd class. And so he has also written about several historical interpretation. So we can find a clear distinction between myths and the evidences present there. And another very important thing I want to discuss, that the food. You have discussed about the Abdul Razak documentation of food, and at the same time, we can see the Lunis documentation of food, where we talk about the many non-veg food items that were presented in the market. There was every kind of bird and pork and mutton, venison, quails and doves, even hares also, and sparrow, rat, cat, lizards also. He openly documented all these things, and we can see that in contemporary Hampi, the meat is totally banned. So the transformation, the how these historical documentation transform the society in a whole is also a matter of history. So very good depiction. Thank you for highlighting such an important topic. And the only thing I want to say in last, that studying history and literature are two different aspects. And when we talk about the history, when we talk about the studying history, so it is not to glorify but to understand the idea, not to divide but to unite and reflect the idea, and not to revive the myths but to uncover the truths of that particular civilization, you can call, or anything. And because history is not black and white, it is always abstract, it is always gray, and it is sometimes ironic too, which we avoid mostly in literature part. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abhinav, for your insights and suggestions, and your appraisal definitely means a lot for Mr. Shashank as well. So it was a pleasure having you as a guest of honor for the session. And again, we would again like to thank Mr. Shashank for that amazing presentation for today. Now, proceeding further, I would like to call our next speaker for the next Sunday. So we would like to invite Mr. Ajay to please present his introduction with along with the invitation for all of us for the next Sunday. Uh, I think there has been some problem with joining. The speaker hasn't joined us yet, so nevertheless, we'll update with that with you. We'll update that as soon as we receive the updates from the upcoming speaker. But as of now, I would again like to thank all of you for being a part of this Sunday evening and sparing and sharing your valuable time with all of us. And now I would like to hand over the stage to Dr. Manish Karnwar for his final remarks and the further proceedings. So, sir, over to you.
Thank you, Samriddhi. Really, it's a interesting evening, and today I'm not taking coffee. Chai se hi kaam chal gaya. So that means it's a very enticeful. It's a very energetic. The two young scholar, three young scholar, and I'm really very happy. Samriddhi, Abhinav, and Shashank. Both are the equally the same age group. Maybe some in PhD, some doing MPhil, and some is still in teaching and MA. So, but the three are the same are in the same bracket, and that's why I'm very happy to see this platform gives me a immense happiness each and every day. to nurture their young talents with so many other faculty members, like you just mentioned about Dr. Neha, and with me, Madhuri. Dr. Madhuri is here, Dr. Simi Mehta is here, Dr. Saroj is here, and so many. Ritu ma'am is here. So, and it's a really Rajni ma'am is here, and Akriti from the college. So, what is most important thing? I'm coming to the myth and history because you people are told appropriately. So I'm not going to, because in Africa also the similar thing is happening about the myth and history every time. And a history student and teacher, if we are evidence, it's a history. If it's a myth, it's a theology. So a very simple demarcation, but the theology and the myth is very perceptive, and they create their own history, everybody's history. It's not that the Vijayanagar is just an example. You from north to Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Lahore to Madagascar. This is the from Lahore to Madagascar. You will find out the myth, they create history. And Shashank is taking very appropriate examples. Everybody wanted to adopt or adapt some myth to become a father-like figure or the brother-like figure or the cult figure. In the South India, the cult figure is a very common thing. We create a cult figure in Southern India. I know there are so many colleagues of mine, they wanted to interject. So I'll call one by one, but I would like to invite one of my bright student who is from the political science background. So what she understands all these ideas. I know it's very difficult. Smita, if you are here, so can you give us a 30-second what you are getting from all those descriptions, because this is platform where each and everyone gets something. So I call Smita to initiate, and after that I call few of my colleagues from the different colleges, because I know they are very curious to add something on it. Smita, are you here?
Uh, Good evening, sir. Sir, I was here, but I was having technical issues throughout the meeting.
Okay, no issues. So whether you are not getting, that's why technical issue, with usually you did not have any technical issue.
Yes, sir.
No, no.
So,
Huh?
so
Yes, yes, go ahead.
suddenly my laptop wasn't functioning well. That's
Okay. Okay, no issues. Okay, so I call my colleagues from different colleges. Madhuri ma'am, she left. Madhvi ma'am. If Madhvi ma'am is not there, Dr. Madhvi.
Hello, sir. Good evening. It was a very
Yes.
interesting topic. I'm really sorry for myself. I could not join on time today because of some responsibilities, but whatever I heard, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Shashank, very congratulations to you, and I'm very happy to see Abhinav here. So, congratulations to you, Abhinav. I really enjoyed your comments. And as much as the history and myth is concerned, I'm really like totally agree with Dr. Manish, sir. Like we create myth, everybody. It is not about on the historical context only, but even in the contemporary times, we whether we believed it or not, but we create myths, and we want to create it for some or other reasons. So history is very essential, or myth is very essential for history, I would say. And as much as myth and rumors are concerned, we always study in history about the implications of it, about the consequences of it. And we all have done 1857 at a, like if you are a history person or not, but at the school level about the Mahatma Gandhi, that kind of people created myth, and it was a major reason, I would say, that Gandhi was so much popular and he was successful. So myth was really, really very essential part of our study, day-to-day life also, and in historical context also. So thank you so much.
Thank you. But myth is constructive. If myth is destructive,
Yes.
so
Thank
the
you.
destruction is everywhere. Destruction is everywhere.
Okay.
Thank you, Madhvi. And now I would like to call Namrata, ma'am. Dr. Namrata.
Yes, sir. Congratulations, Shashank. That was quite interesting. In fact, I'm here. I attend these lectures because it is a learning experience for me today too. Although all that time, actually, so many questions, the questions that Akriti asked and so many others asked, these were all going on in my mind. Sources kya hai, contextualize kyun nahi kiya, and then I halted and I realized that this is a person who is looking at these myths from another perspective, from the perspective of literature. It is not history. Why do we need to contextualize? Why do we need to talk about sources? He is putting these myths open for us to take in, to enjoy, to think about them, how they are. And he answered also that they are connected to culture. And one thing I'm curious about, Shashank, is why did you have a particular idea in mind which made you choose only those myths which were associated with the Shankaracharya Mutt, or it was just random? Because you were aware of other sets of myths also, right?
There are there. Like even establishment of Shankara Mutt is also, there is lot of myth
True.
associated with it. But I chose these myth according to chronology. The
Okay.
creation and gold of rain, where Vijayanagar reaches its peak and eventual decline. Like I found like in graph. So
Okay. Okay.
rise, peak to decline. So like that.
Okay. Okay, that's so interesting because it helped us peep into the mind of someone from another stream of social sciences. How do they think? How do they go about researching myths? A very different approach from us historians. So thank you. I learned so much, and I learned to appreciate myths in another way through you.
Yes, Dr.
Thank you, sir.
Namrata, that's why historian put out their ideas to catch the other ideas only.
True.
Otherwise, we got sidelined by AI and these young scholars. So we can get some good ideas from everyone. Okay, so I would like
Definitely, sir.
to I like to invite his mentor, Dr. Neha Singh from Gujarat University. So, Dr. Neha, are you here? And so, can you give us a sense? Maybe some network issue. So no issue still. Okay. Uh, mm, so if you want to say something about the question that Simi ma'am posted right now, if you want to say
Yes.
something.
So I guess ma'am asked about sources. Uh, the sources which I refer to is from Nilkanta Shastri's History of South India from Prehistoric to Vijayanagar's Fall. And another one is Will Durant, Our Oriental Heritage, The Story of Civilizations. And Robert Sewell, this is one of my favorite, Robert Sewell's The Forgotten Empire. And another one is literature one. It's Salman Rushdie's Victory City. Like this is wow, like author uses the myth or history to create his own kind of empire or a city for his own literary work. So like this helped me to understand how Shankaracharya used these myths or used the happenings to give divine right to Harihara Raya and Bukkaraya to rule.
Thank you,
Or
Sasank. We are getting late, so I would like to invite only one student, political science, Saurabh. If you are comfortable, want to say something? Yes, I'm coming. I'm coming to our previous speaker. I think 1 minute. Yeah. So go ahead. Good Simran.
Hello, sir. Hello, Shashank. It was a lovely presentation, and it was really fascinating to see how a literature student looks into myth versus how a historian looks into a myth. I actually was going through something like regarding this topic only. I was actually interested in understanding myths regarding agriculture in colonial India. And so I think this might interest you. But there is an international conference on myths, archetypes, and symbols. It is in London, although, but it is very easily to apply online as well. But I think you can really have some fun with the entire conference if you can get through. I would suggest you should, because since your perspective of looking into myths is very different, you could really benefit from it. So that was all I wanted to say. But congratulations on such a wonderful presentation. It was really fun listening to you.
Thank you, Gusimran.
Thank you,
But
Miss.
yeah, okay, okay,
Yes,
Sasan, go ahead, go ahead.
thank you, and thank you for your offer. And I would love to present there as well. Uh,
Okay, good, Simran. This is not only Sasank idea because 60% Indian people, I don't know how come I gather the 60%, because what we perceived from last, I'm not going to talk about 70 years, let it 200 years. That's why we are not connecting myth and history. So it's not only Sasank's idea, it's most of the Indian people, because we do not sit and think together to how myth is connected to the history, but it is connected in the different ways. But because if I go on and on, it's a very interesting idea. But I can stop myself here and propose my vote of thanks. And really, I'm again very happy to see young scholars, budding scholars, and the way the Sasank has started and the way Samriddhi has started. Though I need more ideas from Samriddhi, but the way the Samriddhi just started the whole proceedings and Sasank took and give us a 30-minute point blank idea with a very similar pace. I'm not again giving a swing, but your spin is really very fantastic. I yesterday I told Sasank you look like little bit Aswin. So this other way Aswin look like you, but see he told me no, Aswin's from the Tamil Nadu. So right now it's a good, quite interesting, and the Abhinav, the way he has presented, I know I am been with Abhinav in the last 2 years. It's my third year with Abhinav. So yes, the budding scholar doing good. So really, I'm happy to see young scholars going good in their and because the issue between the myth and history, it's a long lasting issue. But the bottom line, try to do not create that kind of myth which devastated our culture, our civilization, and basically the human being. Its responsibilities are responsibility. So kindly do this moral responsibility, because morality and is an important thing when the world is going towards the AI, whereas the morality is just like a subject. So, and through Indian philosophy, through the African philosophy, we can get together and give the world. This is the most important idea. Thank you very much, all the young scholars, my MPhil, my PhD, my graduate, my postgraduate scholars from the different colleges, and my colleagues from different colleges. Thank you very much. We'll meet next Sunday with the new ideas, with the new from last 1.5 months. It was really very fantastic. We get to know there's so many ideas. So again, thank you very much. Those who are here, those who are not here, and those who are listening because of me. But if you are listening because of me, because some of I'm your supervisor, I'm your teacher, but these kind of talks gives you another kind of aura where you get out from the historical journey to the political science journey. So don't sit together. Go to Chandigarh, explore the so many things, so many ideas. Yes, and thank you to Samlal Evening teachers. I'm not getting your idea. Rajak is Dr. Rajak is here, Dr. Sabidi is here, and Dr. Seema is here. Thank you very much for Samlal Evening College for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, and Sasank, keep in touch and give us a good
yes,
speakers. Got a point? Huh? Okay,
yes,
thank you. Have a nice
yes.
day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.